Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue our journey with Lisa and Usman on 90 Day Fiancé. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. Let's watch this show and see if anything of usefulness comes out of my face to the internet.
To meet with his mom to receive her blessings so we can be married. But earlier this evening, after we checked into the hotel, Usman said he was going to say his goodbyes to his friend, escort him to the car. 30 minutes later, walked out, opened the door. Nobody's around. Give me strength to get through this night.
My speculation about Lisa is that she has been traumatized in a number of ways. One of the ways that I've been speculating is that a lot of injustice was happening to her. And so she learned she had to fight at the first sign of the smallest inkling of injustice to her in order to get her needs met. That when she was young, the amount of injustice that was happening was so consistent that she learned the first sign you got to strike back, otherwise it'll just keep happening. That's the only way your boundaries are going to be respected, is if you just come back hard as soon as someone disrespects you, because she's very quick to strike back, and she also sees things in a way that most of us would think was excessive hypervigilance around injustice to her. And the other speculation I would have, given what she's doing right now, which I think is kind of the first time it's really bubbled up to the surface, is abandonment trauma. That Usman has said, I'm going to say goodbye to my friend, and he walks out, and it's been a little bit longer than she would imagine it should have been, and so she's really struggling. And you really get that sense from her. She's just like, please, God, let me get through this. So what happens to people is it's not just an intellectual thing. Like a lot of times viewers, when you see this sort of behavior, you're like, what's wrong with you? Calm down. Why are you so controlling? Why are you so mean? Why are you so entitled? The reality is that the individual is struggling with intense negative emotionality. But because as children, they were not attuned to and no one cared about their feelings, or when they did express their feelings, they got slapped down somehow. They've learned, don't express your feelings. What's the point in that? No one cares about your feelings. So the only way you're going to get your feelings addressed is if you fight and demand and react and, have a knee-jerk reaction. So she, right now, I can really sense that. And I've seen this in clients that I've treated, just becoming dysregulated. He's gone. What does that mean? Does that mean I screwed up? Does that mean he doesn't love me anymore? Does that mean it's happening yet again where I'm being abandoned and no one loves me and I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life and I'm falling into a pit of my own worthlessness? What do I do? How do I cope with this? I can't. And then the anger starts to build. Where is he? How dare he? I'm going to let him have it when he gets home. So I'm guessing it's heading in that direction. Let's see what happens.
He's MIA right now, and he's not responding to my texts. I feel very alone.
So there it is. There's that vulnerability. The vibe she gives off right now is of a little child being abandoned. Now, from the outside, we would look at this and say, you're both grown adults. He's probably just hung up somewhere, or he got to talking with one of his friends, or, it's normal. Or he's upset with the way you've been treating him this whole time, and he's not enthusiastic about coming home. Who knows? Find something else to do. He'll be back eventually, and you can talk to him. But because of her traumas, she falls deep into that space. Now, there's always speculations, as I always say, and I'm probably annoying you by repeating this over and over and over again, but my ethics compel me to make sure everyone understands that everything I'm saying is based on the very little information that the show is showing us. I might as well be analyzing Superman or Thor or something, because who knows what the reality is of these people. Also, before I forget, subscribe, hit the bell below, become a patron on Patreon, subscribe to our podcast on your phone, and comment below. Have you been through this before? Have you plummeted into that space? Have you been the recipient of someone who does this and then attacks you with control? Tell your story. Participate in the conversation.
He's MIA right now, and he's not responding to my texts. I feel very alone.
So the best thing that Lisa can do is when he gets back, which I assume he will, she will say, So when you left, I thought you were going to come back really soon, and you didn't come back as soon as I thought you were going to come back, which isn't your fault. But I just want to let you know I have a lot of traumas about being abandoned, about being treated unfairly, and I was really triggered by that. It's not your fault that I was triggered by that. It's my parents' fault for trigger or whatever sort of traumas. It's the people who traumatized me. It's their fault that this is happening right now. It's not your fault. But man, when you did that, it really, really triggered me. And I just want you to know that so that you just can know, because I don't want to hold things. I don't want to hide things from you. And I don't want to be ashamed for my traumas. I tried to suppress my feelings, but it didn't work. And I got really worked up and I got real angry at you, even though you didn't deserve that. And can you just hold me for 20 minutes and regulate my attachment and my emotions? Because I just need you to hold me and I'm going to cry. That would be functional. You don't have to suppress your feelings. People out there often email me, how do I get over these things? You can't get over it. There's no getting over things. You have to lean into your attachment needs. Get your attachment needs met. Get those corrective experiences that you need in order to heal. There's a way to do it now. The problem with that is you have to be vulnerable to do that from Lisa's position, and that's even a greater likelihood of being hurt if you're rejected. To be vulnerable. So if you're walled up and angry and you get rejected, then that hurts at a certain level. To be vulnerable and then rejected is to get hurt even more. So people will not be vulnerable, but to go halfway down the road means that the other person is just going to get angry. You're going to push them away. So you got to go all the way down the road in order to give someone a chance to really know you and have sympathy for you and empathy for you and take care of you. I'm guessing she's not going to do that. She's not even come close to that kind of reaction. The other thing is in order to know your emotions, you have to have been treated well enough as a kid in order to even know what's happening for you. My guess is if I asked her in this moment, what's the end? Tell me all the emotions you're feeling. She said, I'm angry. I'm pissed off. And I'd be like, okay, what else are you feeling? She's like, that's it. I'm just pissed off. This is bullshit. I'm not going to be disrespected like this. So she wouldn't even be in touch with her hurt feelings and her fears. Is my guess. Maybe she would be. But at the very least, it's hard for traumatized people, relationally traumatized people, to be vulnerable, and that just creates more relationship heartache, which creates more trauma. That's the tragedy for people that go through traumas early in life, is that their defenses cause more traumas for them, and they're 70 years old, and they're alone, and they're angry, and they're bitter. And it's not their fault because of the traumas that they went through. It just set in motion this series of events and defenses and traumas that basically just wrote the story for itself. The answer is to break the chain by going to therapy and having someone who really understands what's happening help you get awareness and help you heal, have corrective experiences in therapy so that you can actually heal from these experiences so you don't have those reactions. Anyway, let's see what happens.
I think we need to talk.
About what?
You and I. You promised to never leave me alone, and here I am in a hotel room alone. I don't get it. I'm in a foreign country. I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do.
Okay, so that's a good opening. I'm in a foreign country. I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. Okay. I mean, that's not accusatory yet. We're still kind of in a good zone. If she stays there, if she just says, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. I just want you to know that. And then he is given a chance to, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I was out late, and I didn't know that you were scared. I didn't mean that to happen. My guess is she's going to start edging into accusatory language and hurtful language to him, and that's going to cause his walls to go up, or he's going to go into the mode where he is ultra pleasing. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Let's see what happens.
When you said you're going to walk with your friend to say goodbyes at the car, I'm thinking outside the hotel room. I opened the door, and I swear to God, I was terrified. And if that is a crime, then I'm guilty of it because I was afraid.
But you know where I go to, and I told you that I'm going to go. You said that you're going
Here
to
you go. Oh, you're already going up.
for me. No, it's not up.
No,
I want you to understand.
Okay, so this is interesting. We haven't seen this from Usman yet. He is, I guess, at his wit's end. He's done being nice. He's done accommodating. He's done falling on his sword, and now he's getting upset. It's justified. I think most of us would agree, but I wonder if it's really going to help the situation. Now, maybe his reactivity will wake her up and go, oh, he does have a limit. I need to find out a different way of coming at him when I want to communicate with him. So I don't know. Let's see what happens here.
You're going up. Your voice is going up. You cannot.
I want you to understand this.
No, you do not have to raise your voice. You do not have to raise your voice to talk to me.
Listen, Lisa. It is not good for me to be saying sorry to you morning, afternoon, night. You are not a god.
So it makes sense that he's getting upset, and I hope that they can begin to understand each other. Maybe this is a wake-up call for Lisa, for her to go, oh, maybe I need to have a new strategy here. We'll see how they do with this. It's also possible that he is influenced by his conversation he had. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, that he's like, well, a Muslim man needs to get control, and I want to be in control, but we don't necessarily want anyone in control. We want both people to both have say and influence each other and hear each other and cooperate with each other. So let's see if they can do that. They seem to be both trying to get control of the situation.
I want you to understand this.
No, you do not have to raise your voice. You do not have to raise your voice to talk to me.
Listen, Lisa. It is not good for me to be saying sorry to you morning, afternoon, night. You are not a god. You are not up to 10 days in Nigeria. But how many times I tell you sorry? I can't even count. How can I be wrong all the time? Is it possible?
No.
Okay, so this is good. Usman is like, how can I be wrong all the time? Is that possible? This is a good start. I wonder if they can get to a place. She's calming down, which is good. She's listening. The first word out of her mouth is no right now, which isn't a good sign, but let's see if they can manage this.
And you're not right all the time either.
I don't even think I should be right, but I cannot be wrong all the time. I am always wrong to you.
No, let's not be a drama queen about this.
Drama queen? Wow. Wow. That kind of, you know it when you hear it. When someone really wants to get you, really wants to hurt you, really wants to get under your skin, you can just feel it. I feel it in my chest. It's just like this pain, this empathy, mirror neurons for him of just like hurt. Now, I don't know if that's what he's feeling, but that, it's unfortunate language that she's using.
To me, Lisa just simply want to control my life.
You can't be running around with damn friends while I'm here. How's that?
Yes, that's how it feels. And that's what I've been harping on this whole time, is it feels like she wakes up in the morning and she just wants to control your life because she gets off on control. No one gets off on control except for psychopaths. No one gets off on just controlling others and making demands. That doesn't give them pleasure. What they're attempting to do is they're attempting to relieve their terribly negative feelings by controlling. It's not working, but they're trying to. It's a desperate attempt to relieve all these negative feelings of fear and inadequacy and hurt, and they resort to control. From the outside, it can feel like, did you just wake up today and just decide you're just going to be a jerk to me all day? That's what it can feel like, for sure.
How could it be possible because I escort my friend and you just start getting mad at me that I left you, I did this, I did that? I'm getting tired of all this. Yesterday we have problem. Today we have problem. I guarantee you tomorrow we have problem.
So Usman really can see the situation for what it is. I think he's very differentiated in his ability to see her pattern and not blame himself and to get upset about it. What I'm hoping is that he can recognize that it comes from a vulnerable place for her. Primarily, though, I hope that she can recognize that her behavior is not helping, not fair, and that it does also come from a place of vulnerability for her. They seem to be edging in that direction. Let's see what happens.
I cannot live in that kind of life because it's better to live in prison than for you to live in the prison that your heart is boiling. I cannot put myself into prison just to make you happy all the time. If this is how you want me to be, then I think it's better you just go your way and let me go my way.
As I often say in these videos, if you are really trying to work on a relationship, what I think Usman is, I would avoid saying statements like that. Like, if you're not going to do this, then let's just end this relationship. Now, if you truly believe that when you're calm and it's coming out when you're upset, there's some functionality to informing your partner that's what's going on in your mind. But often what happens for people is they get triggered, they're upset, and then they naturally go there in their head, and then they start saying things like that, and then later on they regret it, and it could be very hurtful to the other person. It makes sense to you because that's what's kind of rattling around in your head. You're just like, I'm so angry. Why am I with this person? But if you drop that bomb, it can really hurt the other person. Now, maybe Usman is beyond a certain threshold. I don't know. So let's see what happens.
The truth is that I've been complying with Lisa, and I think right now I had enough.
Okay, so this is interesting. Is this the end? Has he been pushed past the point of no return? It was interesting, her response. She just didn't say anything. I'm guessing that she intuited that if she got into a fight, that it would really push him out the door. So, but I don't know. It's hard to read why she was being quiet in that moment.
I can't take this no more. If we cannot resolve it for once, then let's just make a decision. If this is how we are going to continue, no need to get married.
In a lot of ways, Usman is very differentiated. He's just like, look, this is on her. It's not my fault that she's this way. I can't deal with this. I've tried various different ways to accommodate her. If she's not going to change, I don't think this is going to work. Now, on the show, they're supposed to be getting married, and so it sort of amplifies everything. But let's just say they were dating, and this was like week 2 of dating. Well, you could see someone being like, yeah, okay, didn't work out. Chemistry wasn't there. She had some behaviors I didn't like. No harm, no foul. Let's break up. But of course, because this is a reality show and it's supposed to be on the premise they're getting married, it amplifies everything.
The man that just left here was not the man that I fell in love with.
So she's really hurt. We're starting to see that. That's good. Not good that she's hurt, but it's good that she can express that. That's the first time I think we've really seen her show that underlying emotion. And it makes sense that from her standpoint, it's like, where did this guy come from? Because up until this point, he's been extremely accommodating, falls on his own sword, and been very nice to her. And so, yeah, this is the first time you've seen this side of him. Now, hopefully she can see that her traumas are making her feel normal feelings given her traumas, which is causing her to get desperate with defenses that are causing him to be hurt by her and causing him to believe rightfully that he's being treated unfairly, and that she can see that pattern rather than seeing him as being unreasonable. All right, well, that does it for another installment of me reacting to the show 90 Day Fiancé. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.